Hello, you guys. Welcome back to Bombshell 1111 podcast. We have Crystal here tonight. Crystal, you want to introduce yourself?
So, hey, you guys, I am Krista Jordan. I'm here tonight to draw some bombs with Bombshell 111, with 1111. Sorry, y'all.
Thank you. That's okay. Thank you, Crystal, for coming on and being part of the podcast. And welcome back, you guys, to Bombshell 1111 podcast, where we bring the boom to your mental health and your personal development. Tune in as we dive into an impactful conversation tonight and drop some mind-blowing tips to help you level up in your life. Tonight, we'll be diving into a powerful conversation with Crystal Jordan, talking about breaking stigmas, autism, empowerment, and representation with Crystal Jordan. So without further ado, you guys, let's jump right into it. Hi, Crystal. How are you?
I am doing good. I am motivated, and I'm excited.
Thank you so much for coming on and being a part of the podcast. I appreciate you for coming on and, willing to drop some knowledge and tools to the listening audience. Again, I'm excited for you to come on and to be a woman of color to talk about this specific topic, autism. So again, thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me, and
You're
thank
more
you
than
for
welcome.
sharing with me as well.
Oh, you're more than welcome. So before we get into tonight's discussion, I would like for you to give a short description or just a short couple of sentences about who you are, where you're from, and what you do. Even though I will have that down below in the description box, I value that time. So can you let the listening audience know who you are, what you do, and where you're from?
So, hey, you guys, I am Crystal Jordan. What I do, before I get into what I do, I'm going to tell you who I am. I am a mom. I'm a sister. I'm a friend. I'm an autism advocate. I'm a philanthropist. I'm a magazine owner and an author. But beyond that, I'm a mom to a beautiful, handsome boy named Zachariah. And he's the reason why I started this journey of being an autism advocate and really pushing this mission of inclusion and having these deep conversations that need to be had within the Black and Brown community. And that's, I think I answered everything that you just asked me.
So thank you so much for sharing that. So Crystal, your journey into autism advocacy is deeply personable and personal to yourself because you just stated it relates back to your son.
Mm-hmm.
Can you share what inspired you to become a voice for autism awareness and acceptance, and how your experiences as a single mother raising a son with autism have shaped the mission for you?
So my son, and in a simple answer, my son has inspired me to be the voice for this community, but it's also my community too, because I'm a late diagnosis. I am autistic as well. I'm embracing it because I've been figuring out since I was 33 was autistic. But we're going to jump back to what made me start this. So what made me become an advocate is, like I said, it was my son. But honestly, I wrote a book called Just Like You for fun. And people started calling me an advocate. I started getting invited on podcasts like yours. I started getting featured because of my book, Just Like You. And when everybody started calling me advocates, I said, hey, I guess I'm an advocate. I guess God told me I'm an advocate. And that's organically how it happened. Because in the beginning, I was just a mom on a mission trying to normalize the conversation around autism.
What are some of the biggest challenges you faced as a mom, and how have you, or how did you influence and how did that influence the work that you do today?
The biggest challenge as a mom is sometimes the lack of support. So let's say I didn't have my parents. My parents are my biggest support system. My parents are my village. But outside of my parents, I don't have a village to help raise my child. And I'm like, and it's like, what, Chris? No, my parents are the ones that help me navigate this world with my son. So what I notice is moms like me who don't have that. So without my parents, that would be my biggest challenge. But my biggest challenge as an autism mom is finding him resources
Yeah.
and getting him a consistent therapist that is ethically somebody that fits our lifestyle and that is professional.
And when you talk about the services that are needed? Do you feel as if that's very limited, or do you feel as if that's a challenge as well when you're trying to seek services for autism?
So when it comes to Georgia in particular, I say it's limited, and or they don't come to rural areas. I don't have to break down what a rural area is. We should have the knowledge to know what that is. So when I'm looking for services, I want to come in the area. Why? It's nothing wrong with my area. So that's one issue I have. I have to go really, really far to get him services, or I have to be on a wait list. Like one of my biggest icks right now is my son has been on speech lists for over a year or months, and I'm calling multiple places, therapists, to get him the help that he needs, which is me trying to put communication in his life because he is nonverbal. And that's the most frustrating part that I struggle with all the time.
And speaking of resources, I think that something that you've created this platform is very unique, and I think that is very needed as well. Auesomely You
Auesomely,
Magazine. Can
yeah,
you pronounce that for me?
Auesomely You Magazine.
Okay, so let's talk a bit about that. I think that's very inspiring. How does it challenge traditional narratives about autism and newer diversity with individuals? Tell us about that.
So this magazine, I'm already a magazine owner. So this magazine is a little bit different. It's not a little, it is different. This magazine I dropped in April of 2025. What I'm excited about Auesomely You Magazine is the voices and the lives that I'm going to impact through the stories. What makes that magazine different is I'm focusing on all disabilities, autism, of course, but I'm also meeting the parents, interviewing the parents, getting their stories, finding resources for different areas, and putting them in the magazine for people can use it. I feel like Auesomely You Magazine is going to be a resource, or it's going to be a conversation starter. Either or, I'm doing what God wants me to do.
Can you share like a particular impactful story or feature from the magazine that resonates with you?
So we dropped April's. I would say the one person that resonated with me, she has been featured in my other magazine that I own, Becoming Her magazine, is someone named Jessica Jenkins. She's autistic. She regressed. When I say she regressed, so she's an adult. She was able to speak like you and I, but now she cannot. The reason why she resonated with me so much is because that can be anybody on the spectrum. Like anything can happen, something could trigger it, and it resonates because that's real. And she also has autistic kids, and she can barely pay her bills because a lot of jobs are not inclusive. A lot of jobs and companies don't hire people that have special needs or people on the spectrum, people that are not speaking. She's not in the magazine in particular, but she's in a documentary that's attached to the magazine, which is called Auesomely You, the Heart of Autism. She's in that, and I feel like people are going to resonate with her because that is so personal. She almost lost her home. But God
so you are also the co-founder of Becoming Her magazine, correct?
Yes, I am.
Yeah. So tell us a bit about how do you see the intersection between empowering women and advocating for newer diversity?
So what makes them different but comes together is on this side I'm advocating for disabilities and autism, but on this side I am pushing the women to being empowered. You have a lot of women that feel silenced. You have a lot of women that voice are not heard. You have a lot of women that stories need to be told, but mainstream media is not telling their story because of course they're not famous and they don't have the social media following, or maybe they don't feel like they're that important because of how main magazines treat the everyday person. We are just consumers to them. But with Becoming Her, you're not a consumer. You can be a reader or you can be a feature, or you can be both, because all our stories matter. And I've been wanting to be a magazine owner since I was 13. And my favorite movie is 13 going on 30.
Well, you got your dream. Your dream came true 2 times, I think. And congratulations on that.
You.
Through Sisterhood Publishing, you help moms and grandmothers become published authors. Why is it so important for these women to document their stories, and how do you support them in their process?
The reason why publishing your story is so important, you have never known me if I didn't publish my first book just like you. That is a testimony to itself. I have got speaking gigs because of my book just like you. And I became an advocate because of my book just like you. It gives you authority. It creates an income. Do you not know my book or my books? I have more than just like you, but my books make money, and I just sleep and I look. I don't, you know how important that is? Like when you look at these movies and when you really look at them, it always say inspired by a book. So imagine if you wrote a book and 10 years later, Disney pick it up. I'm like, I want to make this book a movie or something. That's you creating generational wealth for your family. Even like, but you have to, when you launch your book, you have to know who you launching to. You cannot launch your book to crickets. You have to understand your target. And that's what I tell my clients. You have to understand your target audience. So if you don't understand your target audience, we need to figure that out first, because you can't just write this book. I had one girl said she wanted to do a journal for everybody. I said, you're not, and nobody's gonna buy it because you want to write it for everybody.
You got to have a target audience. Yeah, like they say, you have to have a niche.
She told me everybody was a target audience. I said, I hate to tell you this, but that's not real. Who is your avatar? It's everybody. It's every woman. I said, no, it's not. And she's still processing it. She put me on pause because she had to think about it. And I said, when you do your research, come back. And she's still processing, but right now she's going through life and life is happening. But I told her, I said, everybody's not your target audience. I need you to revisit what I just said and understand what I said. And it was this before ChatGPT.
Okay.
I'm like, that is not your target audience. Now I feel like ChatGPT can be used as a resource, and you can really use it to figure out your target audience, but you still have to do your research.
Yeah. What impact have you seen in the lives of women that you helped become published authors?
So one who's gonna be one of my success stories, she's having a gala for her nonprofit, and we're in the process of writing that now, and she's so excited. So her books are going to be about DV, because she is a survivor. And I'm super excited to see how this transpire. I'm super excited to see how this works for her, because it has been interesting helping her write this book, because I've been pulling out of her, and I haven't been through DV, but I know people who have. So I'll be like, I write this. I'm like, what do you think of this? I'm like, now you pull from that. So it's been interesting coaching her to write her story, because I know she's trying to protect her kids, because her kids don't know that their dad was their mom abuser, because he's no longer here, because he died from, I think, an overdose or something like that. I can't remember. I think it's that point, like I just said. But she's trying to be careful on how she writes her story versus just writing
it. Okay. My condolences as well. Not only do you help adults, but you also work with, or you also publish children's books. Your children's books, Just Like You, aims to foster empathy and understanding about autism. What inspired you to write it, and what message do you hope that children and parents can take away from it?
What inspired me to write that book? My first book was my son. So I remember when he was diagnosed with autism in 2019. I just remember looking for books on the market. Of course, you have Holly J. Robbins Peete, but she's famous. Besides her, who else? I'm not taking credit from her. I have her book, but who else? I didn't see any more books that looked like my kid, that was on the spectrum, Black boy, that was a main character that was autistic. I said, okay, so I'm going to write it. I'm going to be the solution. Now, when I wrote it, in hindsight, in the back of my mind, I must knew I was going to be an advocate, because in the back of that book, I wrote this book. I can't remember my quote, y'all. It's been so long since I wrote it. But on the back, it talks about Black kids being represented and them being able to see themselves in that book. And also, I celebrate Black kids in my writing because I am a Black mom. I do have a Black son, and I want him to know that he's enough. So I just wrote that book because it wasn't a space for it. And I wanted to create that space, and I wanted a safe space for my son can be able to find a book that look like him. Yeah.
So Zachariah's World is another initiative you've launched to promote inclusion and acceptance for individuals with autism spectrum disorder. Can you tell us about this brand and its mission?
So Zachariah World is really my son's world. I just created a brand that I plan to give to him. So it's warehouse, all of my books, because all my books are mainly, all my books are really about autism or helping your kid get to that goal. So on Zachariah, where you have books, you have toys, you have puzzles, you have games on there that I plan to take off eventually one day. And that website was just created for people who need me. Yeah, I put resources on there. If you send me a resource, I put it on the back end for people can find resources. It was created to be a community and help.
That's nice. That's so dope. As someone who balances multiple platforms, as we just talked about, that's why I had you go through those: advocacy, publishing, and philanthropy. How do you stay grounded and focused on your own mission?
You know what? I love that question. When you say what do you mean by my own mission?
How do you stay focused to your to what's true to you? Because it seems as if you're trying to balance so many multiple platforms, and you're advocating for so many others, and you're trying to support others. How do you stay true to yourself? How do you stay focused and grounded for your own self?
Yeah, that's a hard question for me. That's a hard question for me. I remember in December, somebody asked me the most simplest question at one of my events, and they asked me, "What do you do for fun?" It is February. I still have a question. I don't have an answer for that to this day. I ain't have an answer then. I don't have one now. Because I said for fun, I go. That's what I told the girl. I go to kids' schools and I advocate with their parents. I don't know. She was like, "That's not fun." I said, "Okay." I said, "I started a new magazine. This is not fun." I said, so your question is another question that I don't have an answer to.
So my question is a confirmation that you need to work on some self-care for self.
I work on self-care, but that I don't consider that fun. I consider that mandatory.
Okay. Well, we got to find some fun self-care.
I got to figure that out. So,
because I'm with her doing the magazine. That's work. That's work.
Yeah,
Crystal.
I guess. I don't.
Yeah. So we got to work on that.
I'm trying to think what say. I don't even have an answer for you. I had you ask me twice. So okay. I think what keep me grounded. Listen, if my coach see this, and my fitness coach see this, don't kill me. It's fitness, but I haven't worked. I worked out like 2 weeks ago because I need my coach to get on me, but I don't work out enough. Okay, but that would be what's keep me grounded is fitness. But once I get to the 2-month mark, it's like I time out, and I know I've been paying my coach. I know if she see this. Cause my coach.
Oh my God! So she got some stuff to work on, coach. Let's just say that. So, Crystal, what advice would you have for an aspiring change maker who wants to turn their personal experiences into a platform for impact, as you have?
See, I can answer that. That's easy. Give me hard.
Give it to me.
So, I think just do it. Just like you say, just do it. And do it scared. Pray it first. Let me back. First pray about it. And once God give you that confirmation, don't listen to nobody else. Nobody know the conversation you and God had. Now after you prayed about it and you got that confirmation, just hit the ground and do it. Just do it. Now don't try to be perfect. Because we not perfect. We have to shed that image of us trying to be perfectionists. Launch that brand. I don't care if you do not have the perfect logo. Launch it. I don't care if the color of the bag just isn't right. Launch it. Who gonna know that it's wrong? And then when you got the money, you can say, I'm doing a big rebrand. Nobody know that it's the brand you really wanted.
Yeah.
Just launch it. You don't know who life you're impacting. You don't know who life you're saving. My motto is, and I used to hear this at church growing up, if I can inspire one person per podcast, I did my job. I just need one person to listen, understand that you are enough. Especially moms go through a lot. Even if you're not a special need mom, when the last time you checked on that friend or that cousin or whoever you know who has a special needs kid that you have not checked on? When the last time you called them or text them, hey, I'm just testing you to see if you're okay. And to be honest, I just started to get my tribe to do that.
Oh, yeah. And that's really important. Really
It's so
important.
important. I love making friends in my 30s. Like the friends in my 30s are so intentional. I'm not shaming my friends I had since childhood or in high school or college. I love y'all too. But my friends that are in their 30s, the friends I made in the last year, so intentional. Maybe 2-3 years, like so intentional. Oh my God. God is like, this is what a friend look like.
Yeah. Yeah. And speaking of supports, for parents raising children with autism, what words of encouragement or practical advice would you offer, especially for those who struggle to find resources or even that community support or family support that you was just talking about?
You know what? I'm going to touch on the family support. That's hard because I see both sides. My son has 4 grandparents, and only 2 grandparents are active in his life. Only 2 grandparents are fully there and help in ways that I can't even to explain. So I understand both sides when I hear parents say, "I don't have support." I get it. I understand. But my words of encouragement is, first off, it's okay to not be okay, and breathe.
Yeah.
You don't have to get everything off your list today. Take it day by day. I remember when I used to be overwhelmed because I'm a single mom. I used to lose it, and I used to cry. And I was an advocate during this time, but I used to cry and be like, "Oh my God!" But now I take it day by day. Like I already said on here, my son needs speech. He needs speech and OT, and it's so hard to get it in Georgia. I haven't found nobody that is, that I think would be good for him, and I struggle with that. And I'm being vulnerable with y'all. Like I struggle with that. So I want y'all to just breathe and find what works best for your child and
What
listen to your
resource
child.
I'm sorry, what resources or organizations do you recommend for parents or just anyone beginning a journey of understanding autism?
So if you're in Georgia, reach out to Market Center. Market Center is where my son and me, that's our baby. Like, I get so much from them. And then also, Google would be your best friend because every area, every state will have different resources. I don't have a particular organization that I could think of one. Autism in Color, I think that's the name of it. They are a nonprofit for us, created by us. That is one that I've been following for a while. But look in your area and see what grants and what resources you have in your area for autism. I have gotten so many grants for my son, like, but you have to apply. But you have to be in your area. Some are area based. All the ones I have gotten was Georgia based, and every grant I apply for, praise the Lord, me and Zach has got. and I just so thankful for that. So I guess I'm here by myself, y'all. She tuned out a little bit. So we're gonna keep talking. So you guys, I'm also an IEP advocate. So what is an IEP? An IEP is an individualized educational plan, and in that plan is designed for your kid. So in that plan, you should also have SMART goals. I'm very big on that. The goals should not be opinion based. They should be a SMART goal. S is for smart. No, S is for specific. M is for measurable. A is for attainable. R is for relatable. And T is for time. It's a strategy when you're making that goal. So, you guys have any questions for me while I'm waiting for our host to come back? You're back.
Yes, I don't know. I lost connection. I'm sorry about that.
It's
but I was
okay.
definitely listening. I was definitely
listening.
Okay. Thank you for sharing those resources. So just for the listening audience, is there anything that you think that I missed that you would like to share with them before we head out for tonight?
I don't think you missed anything because I haven't fully promoted everything. But if I miss anything, it will be I'm dropping a documentary. Not sure when it's dropping. It was supposed to drop April 2nd, but we have to push production back a little bit more because unfortunately we had some hiccups within production. So that happened. But that is one thing I'm working on. And I'm also eventually going to work on a community for people can really contact me and really get the help and resources they need.
How can the listening audience get connected to you for more services or more information? And how can they also get the books that you've published as well?
So they can go to ZachariahWorld.com to get my books, or Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Walmart.com. You can find all my books there. Amazon. I'm not sure if I said Amazon. Or you can also reach me on my business number, 404-380-0059. Send a text, and then I will call you back. And also, you can just email me at crystaljordan.advocate@gmail.com. And I'm very reachable, you guys. And last but not least, you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all platforms at I am Crystal Jordan. And I will DM you back. Message me and I'll message you back. I'm always on my phone.
And much for that, Crystal, and thank you for coming on and talking about autism again. It is so needed in the African American community to have this discussion, and I appreciate you for coming on and sharing your knowledge and tools with the listening audience here tonight. And hope for you to come back in the near future if you decide to do so and share some more knowledge and tools with us, all the way from Georgia. Okay.
Yes, I would love to come back. I would love to come back with the documentary crew.
We'll definitely bring them on. Next time we'll be prepared and we won't have all these technical difficulties in the beginning or the end.
That's God. God, look, whatever God wants us to do, we're gonna do. Sometimes the devil don't want us to talk.
Yeah, but we still made it happen.
Amen.
And so again, thank you so much for coming on, and thank you guys for tuning in to Bombshell 1111 podcast and watching us on YouTube and Facebook. We hope that you guys were able to hear something that sparked inspiration and set you on a path towards growth. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Leave a comment down below. It helps us bring more content that you love. And with that being said, you guys, always remember you are a bomb within your own shell. Peace, love, and light. Until next time, good night.
Good night, y'all.